So what we have here, if you're somebody, this is exactly why you don't get married.
Straight out of the paranormal world. Aaron Goodwin's wife, Victoria, has been arrested for allegedly hiring a hitman to take him out. Aaron Goodwin is a paranormal investigator from the famous television show Ghost Adventures. According to TMZ, Victoria Goodwin, Aaron's wife, was busted last week and slapped with 2 major charges: solicitation to commit murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Police say she cooked up a plan to off Aaron while he was filming Ghost Adventures in California. And get this, she was allegedly chatting with an inmate in a Florida prison about it. In the arrest report, cops say Victoria was texting this inmate, asking stuff like, "Am I a bad person? Because I chose to end his existence, not divorce." She even sent details about Aaron's location and filming schedule. They claim she set aside $11,515 for the hit, with $2,500 up front.
So to unpack this a little bit, yes, you are a bad person, because we all know why you didn't go down the divorce route, because there was no kids, so you couldn't get child support. And after his first divorce, he most likely had an ironclad prenup, so you weren't going to get anything. And here's what I think would happen, as it follows a lot of the same beats that these women do. She got lucky and met him through whatever means, got him to invest in her through marriage, but couldn't get kids out of it for whatever reason. And as the job has him on the road most of the year, he isn't around a whole lot, so that has her lonely and resenting him. So instead of traveling with him, which would have been the best solution, which gets my own conspiracy going that she's not even into Ghost and was only with him because he was rich and famous, she thought, nah, I better get into a text relationship with a prisoner. And as this story is fairly new, it really wouldn't shock me if that prisoner's sentence was almost up. So that's why she decided to hire the hitman, because she knew she wouldn't get anything if she just divorced him. That dude has nothing, but all she knew that she didn't want to be with him, because the attention wasn't there. A lot of this is conjuncture, but we see this time and time again with women who hire hitmen to off their husband or boyfriend, to the point it's almost a meme now.
Now, this all went down back in October, but Aaron's still alive, obviously, so something must have fallen through with the hitman. Cops only found out about it after they seized the inmate's illegal phone in the prison. Sneaky, right? When they confronted Victoria, she denied wanting Aaron dead. She told police she was just daydreaming or fantasizing about life without him and didn't remember sending those texts. Sure. And about that money? Victoria said she thought it was for cell phones, not a hit. She also admitted she and Aaron were having marital issues. I mean, they got married in 2022 at the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland. Pretty cool spot, but clearly things went downhill fast. Right now, Victoria's being held on $100,000 bail and is still in custody. Aaron hasn't said much, but his Ghost Adventures buddy Zach Bagans told TMZ it's a tough time for him. No kidding. From hunting ghosts to dodging hitmen, Aaron's life just got way spookier than any lockdown.
To me, this is a smoking gun evidence that she's 100% guilty. And now that she's got caught with no good excuse, she has to key jingle things like marital issues, cell phone money, or it was only a joke, guys, haha, hee hee, lol lol. When no, you knew exactly what you were doing, but because you're dumb and you didn't think you'd get caught, you had no contingency plan. Like a lot of these women who follow through on this, they try to push off the blame to everything else. Most likely it's something that's relatable, like relationship issues. That way she's not completely seen as a bad person. But the smart people know the real reasons. It's because you wanted to leave and you couldn't get the government to take his stuff when you go, so you try to employ other men to unalive him so you can get all his stuff. And this is the stuff we try to warn other men about who are stuck in the grift part of the manosphere. Yes, leveling up is all well and good, and you should be doing that. But if you're only doing that in the hopes to get married, you're only really making yourself a high value target for these kind of people. And you won't know until you're getting shot at, or the police come knocking on your door, that this was even going on. Now this story is very early on in investigations, and more info is likely to come out, probably not in her favor, and I think the most likely thing is going to happen is she's going to come clean, but blame it on marital issues, mental health, dark places, and of course her secret power, white women tears. But let's put this all aside for a moment, and let's say hiring the hitman part is fake. His wife is still having an online relationship with a dude from prison. You're Aaron Goodwin, host of the most popular ghost show out there, Ghost Stories. Net worth estimated to be about $1.5 million, and your wife is still cheating on you with a guy in prison. It's starting to make a little more sense on why guys just don't want to get into relationships relationships at all. So when the trad cucks come out saying you men need to do better and need to level up, this sort of stuff is exactly why most of them say nah, because I'm sure Aaron thought the same thing. This time around he picked better, but as he's learning now, there's no way to differentiate between them, or once they settle in, they're gonna heel turn on you. So bottom line, either way this hitman part is true or fake, which according to the early evidence looks overwhelmingly true. His wife is still cheating on him, and you're worth $1.5 million, working your butt off driving all around the country while she's texting guys in prison, setting up his demise because she can't take all the cash and prizes when she leaves. Yeah, it's a real head scratcher on why guys don't get married. It was only a matter of time, and it looks like a new AI talking powered sex doll is already here, who apparently comforts users who climax too quickly. The article reads, a company has launched a sex doll that has the ability to comfort men if they suffer premature ejaculation. Made by a Chinese company, WM Doll, dolls have a new AI feature called MetaBox that allows them to speak to their users. Designed to satisfy the user's emotion, the doll can comfort men who climax quickly. Rather than acting disappointed, the lusty life-size plaything will offer encouragement and support, saying things like, it doesn't matter, 2 minutes is awesome. The empathetic toy purportedly purrs after being taken out of the box for an all too short playtime. Meanwhile, Jampress reports Amaryllis AI doll has a long-term memory function and can talk to users for several days in a row for up to 3 months. Users can select from 8 different personalities, including gentle, lively, depending on what they feel best suits them. WM, which is based in Guangdong province, has made the latest version of the doll more realistic in appearance. It can make imitation movements such as blinking, and their skin, which is made of silicone, is soft to the touch. But the speaking sex doll doesn't come cheap. The price of MetaBox doll can cost upwards of $1,900. So first off, this pre-ejaculation thing is most likely a gimmick or a BS selling point, like its intended purpose is to help people with this issue, when we all know next to nobody is actually going to be using it for that. But saying it's designed to replace your wife or girlfriend really isn't that marketable. So by saying it helps people with these issues, it becomes a lot more palatable for people to accept, when we all know that's not what they're using it for. And the other notable thing about this article is how cheap it is. And I'm not saying $1,900, which is probably the minimum, isn't expensive, but all things considered, it's way cheaper than what we got now. And even though it's probably going to be a far cry from this.
This is Melody, one of our robots. She speaks various languages, and she's built in a modular fashion. So we can take off her face, replace it with another face, and have her speaking as a different character. Our skills are having very realistic skin, and our AI is very different. It's functioned to create companion and friendship and social type interactions with people. So our robots don't do physical human labor, but they're really meant for personal interaction. So you can think about it at a theme park, at a conference like this, or even at a senior's home where they can keep people company.
I'm Melody, your charming companion from Realbotics. We're all about creating customizable, human-like robots designed for connection and play. Basically, the perfect blend of technology and companionship. Why did the robot go on a diet? Because it had too many bites.
She can smile, so I'll have her smile. And surprise, but the one that everyone loves is her just be angry.
That's 100 to 150K. So all things considered, you're getting a great deal. And just wait till they partner up with toy companies that do toys for men, so it's not just a hole down there. I got the feeling that we're going to be this doll boom, kind of like how tech was in the 90s and 2000s. And we're going to have our own sort of Moore's Law, where we're going to have such big improvements and leaps and bounds every other year. And maybe that article that said women will be single and childless by 2030 really wasn't that far off. And it really wouldn't surprise me in a few years that we see a lot more people have these. And obviously only for emotional support and nothing else.
Anything at the gas station?
I might just go with you so that I can pick what I want. What are you doing?
Close the door. What's wrong?
What's wrong?
Do I not give you enough attention? Do I not show you enough love and affection? Appreciation?
I was just getting ready. I just needed to
Getting
go.
ready for what?
I was a little hot.
Getting ready for what?
I was getting ready to go into
You're getting
the gas
ready. What do you mean getting ready? All you gotta do is move your 2 legs.
What do you mean?
You're moving zippers and shit. What's that about? Is there a problem?
No.
You know someone in there?
No.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
No, you're staying in the car. What do you want?
No, you can't make me stay in the car.
You're staying in the car.
No, I'm gonna go out there and we're gonna get
This guy's learning female nature firsthand, and the reason she's doing this is not because she's expecting somebody to be in there, which there very well could be. She's doing this because the possibility of attention is there. And even though this guy's line of questioning is right, and what one would logically think, it doesn't get to the heart of the matter, and that is they need all the attention. And it's not necessarily that you're not giving them enough love and attention, but they need all of it. That's why they have to milk and scrap every situation that comes up. And then when you call them out, they come up with some convenient excuse like, oh, I was hot. Isn't that strange all of a sudden? And if that doesn't work, they'll try to start an argument to gaslight you into thinking you're the crazy one here. And if all else fails, they'll huff and puff like a child because you were cutting them off from their access of attention, like a dad not giving their kid a candy bar. And then when he tried to lay down some consequences, she becomes a brat, basically telling him, you can't tell me what to do. And if you notice while she's doing that, she's pulling her zipper down again. And she's right, we can't tell you what to do. But you shouldn't expect our provision and protection if you don't want to follow our authority. Guys are just sick and tired of being made the fool. We know what you're doing, we can see it. And then when we call you out on it, we don't want to hear the hibbity-jibbity. So if everybody else's attention is so important, then that's the only one you should get, because your man's attention and affection is worth more than the world's, because the world's attention isn't the one protecting and providing for you. And if that's the one you're going to choose, then you don't deserve a guy who'll give you all of his.
Everybody has feelings, so you're physically hurt, but you're not thinking of my mental, right? They're going off of one angle. A couple times hitting her, my baton got stuck behind her back like this, and it rolled up her back. I lost my balance, and when I pumped my arms again, she got hit. I know my intentions, and I would never hit somebody on purpose. They're assuming my character, calling me ghetto, racist slurs, death threats, all of this just because of a 9-second video.
This sort of stuff is exactly why no one believes women. They'll lie and come up with some very flimsy, plausible excuse, like this here. And because they're so used to just everyone taking their word for it, they think anything will work. And lucky for us, there's video, because who knows how this actually would have went if there wasn't. My guess is people actually would have believed the garbage excuse. You didn't lose your balance, the baton didn't get stuck, you wound up like Babe Ruth because you were losing. And what I think was actually going on was your mouth was running faster than your legs. And in typical woman fashion, they turn it around to make them the victim, not the person victimized by them. They throw on tears, say mean tweets are happening to them, and blame plausible, out of control excuses, because they know this is the combination that always got them out of trouble. And this is why you really can't take women's stories at face value, and even giving her the benefit of the doubt that this isn't some nefarious story that's trying to weave herself to get out of trouble. This is what she actually believed happened, and from the video evidence it clearly wasn't, and it's still lying either way, whether it's for self-preservation or your brain somehow misremembered it and reconstructed it in a way how the actual thing didn't go down. And I hope you ladies just keep on doing it, because that means more and more people aren't going to believe you in the future, and you'll need video evidence for everything. And the only person you have to blame for this is yourselves, all because you just didn't want to own up to the consequences of your actions.
Do you really think I'm not a good sister?
Well, it's not that you're not a good sister, it's just you gotta think that your actions don't just have, like, doesn't affect not just only you, but it also affects me. Like, next year, I'm gonna be applying for colleges, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do that with things that are on the internet. I might not even be able to get a girlfriend because people, like, they already know. In public, people ask me, do you really like your sister? Do you really approve of this? Like, I actually don't think this could work in my future.
Christian, with everything that I'm doing, like, I've never once wanted it to affect you like this. Bro, I'm sorry. I really don't want it to affect you.
There's nothing else I could say. Like, you everything up. I'm leaving.
Bro.
Giving them the benefit of the doubt that this isn't some engagement video, let's start this off with why you're having this conversation with your puniti pointed up at him. It's hard to take anything you say seriously, especially when you're having a conversation like this, where you're wondering if you're a good sister and don't want the things you're doing to negatively affect your family. Yet, while you're saying this, you have your crotch pointed at the camera. So you kind of have two different messages going on here. And when you have two different messages, I believe the action part more than the speaking one. And it's kind of why I think this video is more for engagement. And neither one of you actually care or believe in what you're talking about, but it opens up a broader conversation to where, no, I don't think you're a good sister or a good daughter, but that doesn't necessarily make you bad either. But you condemned your family to all this unnecessary bullying, embarrassment that they'll have to deal with for the foreseeable future, swatting away all these people just because you wanted that easy money. And even though it paid off for you, there's been countless others who put their family in the exact same situation and don't have all this money they can just throw at their family to make them feel better about it. And the common thing all these women have is, yes, most of them have no ill intentions. They just really don't care or have any concept of how A would affect B or C until it is far too late. That's why, especially the past few years, there's been a big push in media or podcasts about how sex work is real work, or it's okay for you to date a girl with an OF. It's all in the effort for them to absolve themselves of their choices and flip around the public sentiment from it being a shameful thing to a proud thing, so they can get all the accolades without any of the consequences, like their family being ashamed of them. So in the wake of that, Valkyrie, Cinna, Emery stream, and the TLDR for people who don't know, these are 3 big female streamers, and they decided to go to an amusement park together and do a big IRL stream, and during it they had a guy follow and harass them. Pokimane decided to weigh in with her take.
Why not get security? Would it have been better if they had security? Sure, but do plenty of streamers IRL stream themselves all of the time without security? Also, yes. So it's very easy for them to be like, well, so many other people do it, surely we can do it too. Of course, now moving forward, I'm sure they will have security, but you bringing that point up is just so victim blamey. It's obnoxious. It's really, really obnoxious. When something terrible happens to someone and they don't deserve it, you don't start thinking about what they could have done to avoid it. You just say, I'm so sorry that happened to you. You don't deserve it. You know, and maybe we should focus more on the person that did it than the person to whom it happened to.
On her first point, yeah, there's plenty of IRL streamers who don't have security, but most of those streamers are nobodies that don't have hundreds of thousands of people subscribed to them or pulling in millions of views. And the few IRL streamers that do, guess what? They have security, because when you have such a large audience, you're going to have a few weirdos that may pull up and try some monkey business. And if you're going to go out from the safety of your house and broadcast your location and not have any measurement of protection, well, then some of that's on you. And this leads into our second point about victim blaming. Questioning why they didn't have security isn't victim blaming, especially when they're all millionaires and can easily afford it. We're questioning why would you put yourself in that position in the first place. And this is a perfect example of why you really don't listen to women, because they all rally behind this point. Just because you didn't deserve it means there's nothing you could have done. And if we question them, we're victim blaming. And why aren't you pointing the finger at the perpetrator when no one's not doing that? We're just doing both at the same time. That guy was definitely wrong and out of pocket, but at the same time, you're responsible for your own safety. Yes, there is a level of safety that society has gave us, but it's not guaranteed. And even more so now, when the men who step up that maybe would have handled situations like that are now the ones going to jail for doing so. Everybody knows this guy was in the wrong. We just want you to hold some accountability for your own safety, so you don't live in this delusional world that you can go outside and nothing bad is supposed to happen to you. And in a not so shocking turn of event, they may not be as innocent as they first appeared, as a clip later came out from the original post that it looks to be that they helped provoke the situation that happened later.
I think we're just gonna go.
Let's go. Oh, no, we're not. What's up, huh? Hey, excuse me?
No!
Security?
Emily, no!
Hey,
Stop!
Whoa!
Let's fucking fight right now.
What?
Get away from
Hey, what's going on?
Security!
He's harassing us.
What's going on? What's going on, man? Right now. I'll kill you right now. Fuck off. Kill you right now.
Security, please!
Security! Can I be mean to him? Yeah, you can. Okay. You have permission.
Yeah.
I'll beat him if I have to. Forgot we're in public. No, I'll beat him.
Now, this doesn't change anything. That guy was still wrong for doing what he did, but why are you going out provoking fights you know you can't win? That would have been the time to call the cops or call security. Nobody's chasing you down the street telling you he's going to Minecraft you for turning down his advances. And again, this guy is totally in the wrong, and you girls are victim from it, but there is some accountability on your end too. From not hiring security, provoking the situation, there's plenty you could have done differently, especially when they had their part on what happened. So what we have here is women confused about all the dating abroad thing. As she writes, is it me or does 90% of foreign men who live here only want Asian women? All the men I see out on the town have Japanese girls, usually a few years younger than themselves, around their arms, and I rarely see foreign women with Japanese men. I have 3 male friends of friends, recently moved here from Europe and the US, all unrelated to each other, and all 3 of them are showing interest in dating or marrying Japanese women. I agree that there are many cute Japanese girls, but I also get kind of an ick that people find a certain ethnicity attractive rather than the personality, especially when they can't really communicate. So what we have here is one upset that men are able to find love outside of their own country, and boils it all down to ethnicity, which I'm sure it is for some, but why would that be a problem that men have preferences, as I'm sure she has her own. And let's just get straight down to it, she's just mad that no one's dating her there. That's why she's upset all the foreign men are only dating Asian women, and she doesn't see any foreign women dating Japanese men. And the 2 things she doesn't understand are, 1, most of those men traveled there to date Asian women, otherwise they just would have stayed in their own country, so this really shouldn't be a big shocker. That's like going to a Mexican restaurant and demanding hamburgers. 2nd, family's a lot more tight-knit compared to most Western nations, so a guy dating a foreign girl is really looked down upon. And more importantly, most guys want typically the same sort of things, minus or plus some caveats. So if your locals don't want your bad attitude, why would you think the foreign ones do? The reason why a passport thing works better for men is because what they're looking for is a lot easier to satisfy, which is usually just fit, feminine, and fertile. And for some of them, even just having one of those things is good enough, where your standards are largely the same. There aren't all these 6'5" foreign billionaire men around, and honestly there's probably even less of them just because their populations tend to be smaller. So this dream that there's some foreign chat out there for you is exactly what it is, a dream. And what this most likely is a woman who wrote off 3 of her male friends are going on dates while she's seething and coping that no one wants to date her. And this is how she's justifying it in her head, that they all must have a fetish for Japanese girls, where it's more likely the case that it's just simply that these guys couldn't get the women they thought they deserved, like not being fat or having a kid, so they geomax to an area where what they have would get them more, where this woman just brought what she was already offering to a different country, and she's finding it just like her local guys, they don't want it either.
My body count is 1,572, and so I don't think body count should matter, to be honest. Like, I don't know. I've heard a lot of numbers, and it just doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Are you speechless?
Yeah, just kind of said you're...
Excuse me, you can't shame people because of their body count.
1,500, whatever the...
72. 72.
That's insane. I'm gonna keep it real.
Just say you're jealous.
Yeah, I'm so jealous.
I don't think being a virgin matters because, again, same with body count, like it doesn't really affect anything. But I feel like there is a stigma around like once you take someone's virginity, like they're obsessed and crazy about you. So maybe that would kind of make me not want to do that.
I mean, you could teach me some things. I don't think I would be crazy over you, but...
I mean, you can also use Google and learn a lot.
God, she's dodging me left and right. My body count's 0, but I wouldn't say body count really matters to me. Unless you're in the double digits, then that's crazy.
Oh, it's okay. I'm in quadruple digits, so we're good.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to unpack here. First off, body count does absolutely matter, as there's actually observable proof and statistics that show the lower body count you have, the better chances that a relationship will last, and that goes for both people. The people saying that body count doesn't matter are the ones that need it to not matter. That's why they so aggressively push the body count doesn't matter narrative, because they need everyone else to accept it so they can accept them, and their choice of being a masturbatory device for everybody else has no consequences for them. And at this point now, it's almost propaganda. She then later moves to, well, you must be jealous, and you can't shame me, when jealousy usually requires that person to have something of value that they want, and I'm pretty sure there's not that many people that want to be the dirty jizz sock. People that use the jealousy argument use it as their own cope against the person they're using it against, because they most likely can't do it themselves. But when women use it, it doesn't mean anything, because they can easily have 1,000 bodies a day if they wanted. So what you're saying I'm supposedly jealous of, anybody can have. But when guys say it, it has a little bit more merit, as they usually had to do a bit more to get that number. But if you're bragging about it like this girl, which some guys do themselves, it just tells me that you have nothing else going on in your life, and your whole life revolves around this. That's why you have to bring it up as a trump card, because you have no self-control and you're a degenerate loser who's like a junkie looking for his next high. That's why the jealousy card is one of your biggest copes, because a lot of the time it's the only thing you have going on. And as for shame, of course we're allowed to shame. Shame has been the soft power that people have used to keep others in line from doing what we have deemed bad behavior. But by saying we can't shame you, you're trying to impose your own values on us and try to spin the narrative that it's not actually a bad thing, when most people would say it is. Her next point on virginity is wrong. It does matter. As is provably shown, the higher the body count, the less you're able to pair bond, meaning you're more likely to break up, and this grand act of love expression means nothing. So no, it actually does affect quite a bit. And the last thing I'll say, even though this guy is kind of goofy, this is the stuff a lot of guys have to deal with, especially Zoomer guys now, that have to use this sort of cope of, well, it's okay if she has double body count, and she can teach me stuff. It really shows how down bad we are, and how bad the pickings are. And maybe if she followed her own advice of Googling it, then maybe she'd have a man and not a podcast.
I don't know why you're so set on going to college. Like, just don't, be an entrepreneur like me and be successful that way.
Entrepreneur? You only that's not being an entrepreneur.
Yes, it is. It's a business.
You sell pictures of yourself online. That's not being an entrepreneur.
Okay, well, if you think I'm not a f***ing entrepreneur, let's go band for band.
Band for band?
Let's go band for band. I bought dad a f***ing car. I'm about to pay off mom's f***ing mortgage. I'll pay for your f***ing college. You don't think that's a f***ing entrepreneur? Then I don't know what the f*** is.
That's just using your money.
That I make through the business of OnlyFans.
Yeah, but it's the business, not being an entrepreneur.
Whatever, I'm not gonna argue with a 10-year-old.
I'm not 10!
First off, your brother is set on doing college because he probably has to. Most people have to go to school or train so they can do something to earn a living. Next to nobody just gets to take pictures of the holes and earn stupid amounts of money. You're speaking from a very privileged position, and it's probably why you're confused what an entrepreneur actually is. And your brother is sort of right, but for the wrong reasons. A lot of these OF girls who think they're entrepreneurs for selling pictures of their holes couldn't be more wrong. At best, you're a freelance creator, and the reason they all desperately cling to this word is so they can disguise and dress up on what they actually do to themselves and everybody else. You don't see Twitch streamers or people who post videos on YouTube calling themselves entrepreneurs, because 99% of them aren't. Most of it's either entertainment or instructional. And while I say you fall on the latter, then why would you claim the title of entrepreneur while the rest of the type of people who do the adjacent type of content don't? I think it's due to shame. So this is your way to make it sound more sophisticated, and because in this case you earn a lot of money at it, you think this entitles you to this word of entrepreneurship, which was largely reserved for men who actually started businesses and industries. And these women are only looking to steal the word so they can share in the same resonance from the people who actually fit the word. If OnlyFans was considered McDonald's, then these people would be considered the burger flippers. Yes, an integral part of the business, but at the end of the day, no one's calling these people chefs either. And this leads me to my last point, is your whole business hinges on the whims of this site. And remember a few years ago when they said they were going to ban all adult content and everybody freaked out so they had to backpedal? That kind of shows me you're not really an entrepreneur when you rely on a third-party business to do all your transactions. That speaks more to a freelancer or gig worker. And it's like I said earlier, YouTubers don't give themselves that title. I'm sure most of them would say they're freelance creators, and that's exactly what these women are. Another example are people who do things on Etsy, like sell knickknacks or provide services. I'm sure next to none of them consider themselves entrepreneurs either, because that word implies independence, and I think that's what the big distinctional fact is. And like YouTube, OnlyFans, Twitch, Etsy, or even Uber, they all rely on that one business for you to do yours. So please don't try to fool us into thinking it's something more. That's just you coping about it, when everybody knows it isn't. Even your 10-year-old brother knows.
See if I know today.
What'd you just say?
What this is women placating the idealized relationship that men fantasize about. That if they do good things like treat her like a queen, take out the garbage, put coats over puddles, that this will be the sort of stuff that will make her irresistible to you. When all stats and even her own little paragraph she put in proves otherwise. Do you think all the guys who apparently treat her so bad had to do any of these things? Probably not. Yet they're all getting the exact same thing this guy's getting, but for far less effort. But I think the worst thing that these videos perpetuate is the false veil of this is all you need to do. Like, if this is all you need to do, why weren't you with this guy in the first place? But we know that too, because you wanted the attractive guy with the dark triad trait, and you chased those guys around until you were too old and fat for them to deal with you. So now these guys you wouldn't give a chance earlier, who do house chores, you're just enamored with. And I think the most important fact that all these videos leave out is doing all this stuff doesn't increase your chances of her not leaving you. At best, in an existing relationship, it will most likely just buy you time, and in a new one, it will turn from appreciated to expected. But I want to clarify, I'm not saying this stuff doesn't help, but there's a reason why these type of dudes are getting these women in their 30s and not their 20s. And no amount of goofy chore play videos like this are gonna fool guys who have their eyes open to this. It's like I said earlier, it's just romanticizing the idea of what men think it should or ought to be, and not what it actually is, and portray it as some silver bullet. And this is all you need to do, when we all know it doesn't work and it's very short-lived. It's very much along the lines of women doing their trad videos, baking pies, dressed up like 1950 pinup girls from a Rockefeller ad. None of it's real, and all these people promoting it aren't actually doing it, and it's just the conservative version of pickup game. And what do you know it, most of those guys weren't living that lifestyle either. It's just women being paid to sell you on the idea of it.